Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pearls of Fisdom with me, Avan Dabash on Nirmal Bang. And of course, everyone wants everything at the tip of their fingers. And in fact, there's an initiative by the Commerce and Industry Ministry to create a facilitative model to help small retailers actually take advantage of digital commerce in the world's first inclusive large scale e commerce system. And this is a network revolutionizing digital commerce and giving a greater thrust to the penetration of retail e commerce in India. I'm talking about ONDC. Let's talk to the man behind it all and understand a little bit more about how it works, the competition, what the long term game plan is, and how even smaller players can benefit. T. Koshy is the MD and CEO at ONDC. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining in. Let's just start off by understanding how exactly it works, or how you would define or like to describe the open network for digital commerce.
Okay, open network for digital commerce is an idea to what we call democratization of digital commerce. What does it mean? In the today's world of e-commerce platform, we have for each domain, let's say consumer products, we have 2 or 3 large platforms. In the food, you have 2 or 3 large platforms. In mobility, you have 2 or 3 platforms. They all use their proprietary protocol. It means that they make what we call walled gardens of buyers and sellers. So how does it affect the sellers and buyers? For the sellers, if it becomes a part of a platform, it is visible only to the buyers in that platform. If he wants to be visible to the buyers of multiple platforms, he has to have in legal, digital, procedural integration with multiple platforms. And because of such a system, the buyers also have that limitation that if I am a buyer in one platform, I can only see the sellers in that platform. If I need to see the sellers in the other platform, I need to go to the other platform. That is a current way of platforms. So the ONDC is something that makes every platform sort of interoperable. So if any seller comes to this ONDC network using ONDC protocol, he need to onboard only once. Then he will be visible for any entity which is giving buyer interfaces. So that's sort of briefly what it is. So today we have many buyer interfaces who are providing ONDC network access, which includes Paytm, Ola, Snapdeal, Kojlane, MyStore, and so on and so forth. Similarly, there are different sellers who are enabling the sellers to come on board. So that's sort of in brief. I can go much more detail, but I think we could have a brief introduction will be sufficient at this time.
No, of course, Mr. Koshy. We just wanted to get in an overall 360-degree view from you, and I think you did that very well. And let's talk about those merchants. How many have you onboarded in total up until now? What's the last number that you can share with us? And I believe that you're very optimistic about this growth, and you've even said that you're envisaging in the coming year at least 10 times this growth.
If I just give you, this is a globally first idea. So in the last January 2023, when we sort of made it open to public in a limited fashion in Bangalore, we had about few hundred merchants altogether doing about 1,000 transactions in January 23. As versus in July 24, now it's about 18 months later, we have about 6.5 lakh merchants and service providers. And in this month and the last month, July, we did about 12 million transactions during the month. So from 1,200 to 12 million is what we reach in 18 months' time. And we believe that this will giving a lot of confidence to get many more enterprises to come specifically to do buyer interfaces. As you would have seen, people who have in fintech like Paytm, people who are in mobility like Ola, people who are in e-commerce business like Snapdeal, startups like MyStore, they've all come and given the confidence that the wide variety of buyers can access this network. And this has given confidence to a lot of sellers. So as I said, 6.5 lakh merchants is what I'm seeing. And probably that is by end of the year, that may become more than 1 million. And this transaction, which is 12 million now, we have aspirational to reach 30 to 40 million by the end of the year. So, that's a kind of response that we are seeing both from the merchants as well as for the buyers.
Okay. And I believe that, you're doing a lot when it comes to small businesses as well in India, from farmer producer organization to even silk weavers of Kanjivaram. How are small businesses likely to thrive on the ONDC platform?
Today, if you really look at, it's a very valid question. Today, if you really look at in the e-commerce penetration on the buyer side, while you and I may be very active users, but and many more as, but thing is actually penetration only 7-8%, and and that too on the privileged class of the society, whether it is in tier one or tier two or tier three. By the time it goes to lower tiers, it's mostly more affluent society, and the seller penetration only a few percentage points, maybe 2, 3, 4%, which means that they are meeting the requirement of this elite crowd. So what are we doing? This is an open network giving equal opportunity to the big and small. The big guys don't need any hand-holding support. They can come by themselves. For example, we have HUL, we have ITC, we have Domino's, we have McDonald's, we have Rebel Foods. They're established in different segments that is coming. When it comes to small enterprises, we need to give a lot more hand-holding, and that is one of the role that we play directly or through even many like government entities, philanthropic agencies, etc., to give handholding for multiple dimensions. One is get them familiar with the digital market. Second is to help them digitize their catalogs, which are acceptable. Third is to have business processes for them to receive an order, fulfill an order, and so on and so forth. So what is needed, what we believe is that, what is needed is to give these kind of support. So we are doing a twin strategy. Strategy one is to get digitally mature people to come and join and onboard, both from the buyer side and seller side. So there is a demonstration of a network that is growing day by day. As I told you last year, from 1,200 to 12 million is a big growth. That is giving a lot of confidence. Second thing is to see how many lives can we touch. That's why we work the Ministry of Agriculture and SFSC to work with the Farmer Producer Organization, Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises for MSME, even philanthropic agencies like Wadhwani Foundation and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and so on and so forth, to develop programs to help artisans and weavers, entities like SIDBI and NABARD to help their ecosystem players. So what we are doing, it is not something that ONDC can do by itself. ONDC is sort of driving a movement of like-minded people who believe in making the digital commerce a more democratic and equitable place, and we act like the entity who provide the infra, the knowledge, and the SOPs.
Okay, now given that there are a lot of the food delivery platforms as well that you are competing with, give us a sense of how and if you're taking advantage of the platform fee hikes that we've seen recently.
The thing is, see, as I said, there are two kinds of model. There's only one kind of model in the e-commerce, whether it's food or whether it is in mobility, which is platform-centric model. So in each of them, you will see some one or two established players. So same thing happened in food, same thing in e-commerce, same thing is in mobility. So what we are now working is the network, which is helping interoperable network. So we are seeing that large number of, if you come to food, large number of restaurants, big and small, I said that they will make their catalog visible in the ONDC network. And different enterprises are coming to help the clients to reach food. A very good and interesting example is, for example, let's say, see, two examples I tell you. For example, let's say Ola is in ride hailing. If they want to offer their clients adjacencies, they want to offer their clients to buy food in the network, in the olden ways, they would have had to go and tie up with all the restaurants. It would have been such a big pain. And how many even for a restaurant, how many will they tie up? We already are in two big enterprises. How many more? Whereas now that they're a part of the ONDC network, they only need to get an interface to give their clients a visibility to this large number of 80,000-90,000 restaurants already. Same, I'm just giving you two examples. For example, look at Dainik Jagran. They've launched Kojile.com, which is an e-commerce platform, say that all the readers now can access to digital commerce without they taking the effort to go and tie up with the sellers. So the beauty is sellers will find a way through directly or through some entities providing service to make their catalog visible once in the ONDC network, and different buying application will come and help their buyers to buy whatever that is relevant. So that's why we are not a compete. We are not in competition. We are only giving a different model. We are an inclusive model. So if the existing platforms tomorrow feels comfortable to be a part of the network, they are there. So don't think like a frontal confrontation. It is essentially two ideas. One, the platform idea, which was there for many years globally, in also as well as in India, and we coming out with something that is more fair and more equitable and more participative. So it's a question of how different segments adopt it.
You've also, I believe, got active interest from various consumer packaged good players, D2C brands, the fashion domain, to actually optimize the cost of service. Tell us a little bit more about the integration, which areas ONDC will be looking at.
See, like I said, we used to demonstrate that this is a workable idea. We started with food, grocery, and then we added mobility. But in the last few months, we added practically different segments: beauty, personal care, home furniture, fashion, appliances, and different had been brought in. So, and we are seeing good participation coming from them. One of the biggest advantage that is there is that any seller who has got a product, and if they can create a catalog which is ONDC protocol compliant, they can be visible on the network once. So, and it can be, because it's using a standard protocol, nobody has the monopoly on how to make it come on board. So that way, the coming onto the network is become very, very competitive and cost effective, which is one of the greatest thing that's happening. So which is giving a lot of confidence and comfort to D2C brands. Say that what is their challenge? D2C means direct to customer. Either they have to set up their own platform, which is very, very costly and effect with respect to customer acquisition effort, or they have to work with an existing platform who have their own terms and conditions, which are decided by the platform providers and not by the sellers. Whereas in the open network, any brand can make their catalog visible at from multiple service providers. That means a very competitive price, which only reflects the cost and effort. And then they have the visibility to the whole host of buyers who are being brought by different sectors, as I said, from fintech to startup to media, creating a common marketplace of buyers, all being visible to any seller coming onto the network. That's why I'm seeing a lot of interest coming from various entities to onboard the such D2C enterprise, as well as anybody who is there in the e-commerce market.
All right. And what's the outlook in terms of the kind of volume traction that you are seeing, and what is the outlook in terms of how you see that growing?
As I told you, from January 23, 1200 transaction, July 24, we are showing 12 million transactions. And we believe that by end of this financial year, it may become 30 to 40 million transactions in a month. And which I feel is very, very confident. We are very confident of. And we are also seeing different service providers. One very interesting change that happened in the e-commerce market is the availability of logistics as a service in the network for all network providers. What is the impact of this? Imagine you are a small restaurant. If you want to be in digital commerce, you know how to make your food. But for delivery, either you have to send your chotu or you have to get the delivery service some established delivery players. And established delivery players will not be able to integrate with each small enterprises. They will only look at the big one. That means their option is only to establish platforms. Now, with logistics as a service available on the network, even if you're a small restaurant or a small retailer, you have a network-wide logistics supply available at a very competitive rate. That has really become a big unlock in the digital market. I'm just giving an example. Probably you heard yesterday, I saw it in the newspaper, while announcing that they're going to come out with warehousing as a service available on the network. So all this, what does it mean? It means the building blocks of commerce, whether it is warehousing, whether it is packing, whether it is logistics, whether it is catalog creation, these are all can be handled by very competitively handled by entities who are specialized, who can do it at a very competitive price, and the protocol stitch them together. So that is how it became a more democratic place. And because of that, from, like I said, we expect significant adoption. Now that we have reached from 1200 to 12 million, it is giving a lot of confidence that this is getting added. And also related services like credit and insurance and so on and so forth are in the early stages. We expect those things to add onto the network, which will also give a lot of convenience and confidence to small merchants and small service providers.
And tell us a little bit more about how you're further integrating technology. There's ONDC's Confidex, called blockchain technology.
No, that is something that we are working to sort of, the key idea is not, let me explain the key idea. Key idea is to enable a network-wide scoring. So we are looking at what are the best way to give a network-wide scoring. And also we are working with a lot of startups and, to help them use the latest technologies like AI and ML, etc., to improve the customer experience. When there is a separate interface for buyer, then that entity, for whether it is Ola or whether it is Kojali or whether it is Paytm, their loyalty is to the customers, the buyers. That means they will have a lot of smart technological solutions to help the customers to identify what is the most optimum and choose what is the most optimum and recommend them what is the best options from a wide variety of choice without any conflict of interest. So that's why this is ONDC idea as a network will be a major trigger for innovation and specialization on different building blocks of commerce.
Okay, that's good to know. And before we let you go, any pearls of wisdom at being at the helm of an organization that is really spearheading e-commerce and taking advantage of the digital commerce in the country? And would you like to share that with us?
The key thing is, see, this is the first time in the world. So lots of people really haven't really understood the power of a network. So my exhortation to all of you listening, either a seller or buyer, one, as a buyer, say that, come check it out. The kind of options, possibilities, deals, offers that is available through the buying network is really huge. It could be on grocery, it could be on food, it could be on fashion, it could be on electronics. Check it out, and it is improving day by day. The kind of unique products, especially from artisans and farmer producer organizations in Christian part of the country, is the best thing that you can consider in this festive season. So whether it is for Rakhi, whether it is for Diwali, because this kind of breadth of offers will be very rarely available, and the kind of pricing is very, very competitive. And now, second is to anybody who has got a product to sell, say that if they believe that they are challenged by the access to market, challenged by the cost of accessing to a broader market, look at how to participate, and you will not be at a loss. And there again, all this participation is a very marginal cost decision. It's not a huge capital intensive project, but it's what you need is a willingness and capability to look at something really new. And I believe that small enterprises are really agile and adaptive in trying out something that will really work for you. And that is the only pearl of wisdom that I can share with you.
Appreciate your time. Thank you for being honest with us. And yes, indeed, checking our ONDC is definitely something that people should do. Good to have you on board. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from Nirmal Bang.